Gareth Southgate's latest England squad is in, and Newcastle United have a representative. It is Anthony Gordon, who has been called up for his first ever senior international England squad. Now, it's a great award for Gordon, who has been sensational this year for Newcastle. You know, he had a tough start to his life in Newcastle. To be fair, he did this time last year. People were wondering, have Newcastle overpaid? You know, is it worth the hype? But ever since starring at the Euros, which we'll touch on a little bit with the under-21s last year, but ever since coming back from that summer tournament, he's been fantastic. He scored plenty of goals. He scored 10 in all competitions, and he's scoring goals at regular intervals. You know, they're not just coming in in purple patches like we've seen with Almiron in recent times. You know, they're not scoring six and 7, for example, and then not scoring for another 5 or 6 months. He's scoring at regular intervals and against really big teams as well. You know, his record against the top 6 is incredible. He's got a goal against all of them bar Tottenham, and a goal and assist against Liverpool and Chelsea. So yeah, it's really good reward to see him. And obviously we all know he was injured on Monday night, and everyone thought that his season could be potentially over. There were reports on social media, but it's good to see that injury isn't serious, and clearly not serious enough for England not to pick him. And I think everyone's glad for him, because he has earned it. As I said, he starred for the under-21s in their under-21 European Championship victory last year. He was named player of the tournament there. So he was really been knocking on the door for a while now, but you did wonder whether Gareth Southgate would stick with his tried and tested squad, especially with the Euros just in 3 months away, whether he would or whether he'd actually experiment and use this time to experiment, and he has. And there is no doubt in my mind that Anthony Gordon will succeed for England. He's not, you can say it, Southgate has experimented all you want, but he hasn't really experimented with Anthony Gordon. It's a right pick. And yeah, it would be good to see what he can do on the international stage if he gets an opportunity to play. Now, there could be, he could make his debut against Brazil, and he could be squaring off against Bruno Guimaraes. He was obviously called up with the Brazil squad earlier on. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if them two do square off against each other. But yeah, I think Gordon has definitely deserved it. He's rightly in that, and Southgate, I think, has been criticised for his lack of trust in maybe some of the younger players, or lack of flexibility when maybe some of his players are out of form. But to be fair, this squad, he's someone like Calvin Phillips, who's been in most of his squads even when he's been out of form. He's not in this time. And yeah, I mean, there's no other real surprises other than that. We didn't, Kieran Trippier isn't involved. We knew that. He's been injured. He'll be back after the international break. There's no doubt he'll go to the Euros if he's fit in the summer. That's just, and I think that's a good news for Newcastle. I think Trippier would benefit from that extra week and a bit off. He's pretty much played non-stop for the last few years, really, with internationals and being called internationals, the World Cup and all that. So yeah, he's not in there. Tino Livramento, he's not in there either. He would have been a bit of an outside call, I think, for Southgate. I'm not surprised to see him not in there. There are injuries at right back, but I'm not surprised to see Livramento not being called up the senior squad. But yeah, it's just good news that Anthony Gordon's in there. Newcastle fans will now obviously be hoping that means he's fit enough to play against Man City the weekend. And then obviously if he doesn't travel with England, that he then doesn't pick up another injury, because that could be just Newcastle's luck this season if Gordon got his first international call up and got injured in that. But yeah, it's brilliant news for Anthony Gordon, and Newcastle United will at least have one representative in the England squad this time. Who knows how many they'll have in the Euros? As we mentioned, Trippier there, Gordon, if he continues as he has for club level, there's no reason he shouldn't be in that squad. Nick Pope, now he's not back from injury yet, but looking at England's options in this next squad, it's Jordan Pickford. Obviously he'll be number 1 for Southgate for the Euros, and then you've got Aaron Ramsdale, who's not playing at Arsenal, and Sam Johnston. So Nick Pope, there is a potential, if Nick Pope can get himself back fit, that there is an option for him to be in the Euros. And then again, Tino Livramento, we don't expect him to be in the European Championship squad, but if their injury problems persist at right back, then there is every chance that Livramento might be someone, as an outside shot. But right now, Newcastle United have one representative in the England squad, and it's Anthony Gordon. And yeah, it's just brilliant news for Gordon, and fingers crossed that he can perform on the international stage, as all the Newcastle United fans know he can, and that he comes back to St James's Park after the international break ready and fit to go, because with West Ham, Everton, and then Fulham to come within a week of each other, West Ham on Saturday, Everton Tuesday, and then Fulham on Saturday, they're 3 really big games in their race for European football.